Coming up next on News at Noon, police officers are on the front line enforcing social distancing. We'll tell you how they are staying safe during these times. And the Athens Public Transit also is taking new safety measures for the time being. Hear what it's doing to keep their drivers and riders safe. News at Noon starts now. Welcome to this week's edition of News at Noon, a weekly Facebook report of COVID-19 news happening around Ohio. I'm your Central Ohio correspondent, Zach Paquette. As of Wednesday, April 15th, there have been just shy of 7,800 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Ohio. In his daily update, Governor Mike DeWine reported that there have been a total of 361 deaths, with just over 2,200 Ohioans being hospitalized because of the virus. DeWine has been more than happy to report that the curve has been flattened. However, there are still concerns over the amount of personal protective equipment for the near future. In these trying times, when financial burdens are getting heavier, Athens Public Transit is making the load a bit lighter. All public and on-demand transportation charges have been dropped. News at Noon's Aditya Sahasrabudhe tells us about the decision to make bus service around Athens free.
After the extension of the stay-at-home order, people are expected to stay indoors. However, Athens Public Transit continues to be available for essential travel for free. Bus driver Josie says she's helping folks get the essentials.
We're here to provide a service. I think that's the most important thing, being able to get out there and help you get to doctor's appointments if you need to go to the doctor, the grocery store. Someone's got to be able to be there to do that. And if everybody's afraid of the virus, then nobody's going to be able to get the things they need.
These buses are equipped with PPE kits, hand sanitizers, and are cleaned several times a day. HAPCAP Transportation Director Carolyn Connolly says the drivers are doing a great service even in these unprecedented times.
Our drivers have been true champions through this whole situation. They feel that what they're doing is important. We believe what they're doing is important and a true service to the community, and they have really embraced that challenge and really stepped up to the plate.
Although some of the drivers with compromised immune systems are taking the time off, none of them have been laid off.
We're lucky because we have a good company that provides us with hand sanitizer and the materials we need to keep going. And without our jobs, we wouldn't have places to call home.
To keep the passengers at least 6 feet apart, only 5 passengers are permitted at a time. Bus drivers also disinfect the seats and handrails every time the passengers get off the bus. For News at Noon, Athens, I am Aditya Sahasrabudhe.
In addition to reduced hours for some routes, Athens Public Transit has suspended all Saturday services. A Columbus man was arrested earlier this week for spitting on a Columbus Transit Authority bus driver's face. The bus driver told police that an intoxicated man was ordered off of the bus in downtown in Columbus after shouting profanity. The man approached the bus driver, claimed to have coronavirus, and spit in the driver's face. Police arrested and charged the man with assault. That's just one story on how first responders, like police officers, remain on the front lines keeping people safe. News at Noon reporter Tatum Otis tells us how police are changing the way they protect their communities.
Taking protective measures such as staying at home isn't an option for police officers, and police stations around Ohio are trying to find the best ways to protect their communities as well as themselves. Throughout this pandemic, police officers have been given the duty to enforce social distancing, putting them at greater risk for contracting the virus.
Again, yes, our men and women that are in the hospitals are heroes, but also our fire, our police, and our EMS do this daily. We're going to houses, domestics, places where that are dirty.
Ron Vogel, deputy for Delaware County, says the basic mission for police departments now is to minimize exposure for the deputies out on the street. To avoid as much contact as possible, the Delaware County Police Station is prioritizing calls that their patrol will respond to.
So any call that doesn't have suspects, that's nonviolent, that could be like a property crime or whatever, we are handling over the phone.
Although the department is seeing fewer calls during this pandemic, they have seen an increase in domestic violence and mental health calls. Responders have been given N95 masks, given the risk associated with face-to-face interactions. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, first responders, like police officers, will continue to balance public safety and public health. Reporting from Columbus, Ohio for News at Noon, I'm Tatum Modis.
To help keep these first responders safe and healthy, police are urging the public to stay at home and call only for emergencies. Thanks, Tatum. Sam's Club is also showing gratitude to these heroes. Starting this Sunday, every Sunday, we'll have Hero Hour. From 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., the store welcomes first responders, healthcare workers, along with its associates to shop. All shoppers will be provided with masks and expected to practice social distancing. More heroes are on the way. Ohio University's medical and nursing students are graduating early. They will begin providing care and relief this pandemic after Saturday. A majority plan on working in Ohio to strengthen the medical force here. OU President Dwayne Nellis said that the university is committed to doing all it can to battle the pandemic. Stay-at-home orders have prevented many athletes from training for their seasons, but one athlete has found his own way to stay prepared. News at Noon reporter Alex Porter tells us about a high school senior who's making sure he stays at the top of his game.
Jonah McCartney is a senior at North Canton Hoover High School and was a member of the basketball team for 4 years. But in this time of self-isolation, Jonah is finding his own ways to get better on the court. McCartney says he has had his share of adversity throughout high school, but the pandemic has raised adversity to a new level.
Now that I am done with my senior year, I'm kind of back in the same boat where you move up to the next level and the competition gets bigger, faster, and stronger. I was planning on getting in the high school gym as much as possible. Now that I can't, I've really had to resort to playing a lot outside.
Despite those limitations, McCartney has still found a way to improve his skills.
What I've been doing is trying to improve the ball handling and finishing aspect as much as I can.
And with all the hard work that McCartney is putting in now, he's doing it so it'll pay off in his future. McCartney recently committed to play Division III basketball at the University of Mount Union in Alliance, Ohio.
I really love the program that he put together, but they are losing 3 of their best players. So that's where I think I can come and help them. I really like the campus. It's a good size that I wanted, as well as a good distance from my home.
And he says he now feels better about overcoming the challenges posed by the pandemic.
I feel like I have taken advantage of it as best as possible, where I put myself, I think, in a better position than most, because I've gotten creative with the way I'm working out.
As McCartney continues to practice on his own, he's doing it in preparation for his future as a college basketball player. Reporting from North Canton, Ohio for News at Noon, I'm Alex Porter.
McCartney is just one example of athletes around the country taking advantage of self-isolation to perfect their craft. Thanks, Alex. Ohio's foster care system has received a lot of additional stress because of COVID-19. Court hearings to place children with adoptive families and the recruiting of new adoptive families is on hold because of the virus. This has caused adoption agencies such as Journey Home Foster Care to find new ways to support their families. Earlier this week, the agency delivered Easter baskets to hundreds of children in Central Ohio. To learn how you can help, visit their website at journeyhomefc.com. And while cooped up at home, some people are adopting new family members as a way to stay busy. News at Noon reporter Zenobia Chris talked to new dog owners about their decision to get a pet during the pandemic.
They're called quarantine pets, a term that has come out of coronavirus. And families like David Burns are using this time to find a new furry friend.
We gave it a lot more attention than I think we ever initially planned on, because we all are here and we're all looking at each other, and sometimes we need things to do.
Humane societies are looking for temporary foster homes for animals due to understaffing. Others are not open for adoption, but the Burnts got lucky with little Walter in Amish country.
We did talk about one time just, adopting dogs, and there weren't many available right now because the coronavirus was in effect.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine was even surprised with a new member to his family. Tweeting out this photo last week, Governor DeWine was excited to announce the addition of Dolly into their lives.
Our intention wasn't to fulfill a time frame in life that we were going to always remember and say back. Remember in 2020 we sat around and looked at each other and said, what are we going to do? Or I can't do another jigsaw puzzle.
And for some, a little puppy love is just what's needed to cure cabin fever. For News at Noon in Columbus, Ohio, I'm Zenobia Chris.
The CDC says there is no evidence that pets can transfer the coronavirus to people. But the CDC does offer this advice. Treat pets as you would other human family members. Do not let pets interact with other people or animals outside the household. If a person inside the household becomes sick, isolate that person from everyone else, including the pets. And a Pittsburgh woman needed some help, and the people of Molson Coors Beer Company delivered. Olive Veronesi, the 93-year-old woman, was running low on her beer supply, so she made a sign that said she needed beer. Sure enough, reps from the Molson Coors Beer Company showed up at her door and dropped off 10 cases of beer. Now she has plenty of beer, so her stash won't run dry. That is all we have for this week's edition of News at Noon. Stay safe and keep practicing social distancing. We'll see you next week here at News at Noon.